What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Fight Field Insights. We got huge news in the form of State of Origin. The New South Wales team list was revealed Sunday night. Last night is a Monday. And the Queensland team was revealed this morning. So we're doing a little bit of a State of Origin team list review, right? We're going to be looking at who's playing, right? Who we think's going to win. Yeah! Alright. I'm a Queenslander, I'll admit, guys, get your booze out if you want, right? So I've gone for anything closest to maroon here. And I've also settled on a bit of neutral pinkish ground, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm a sports analysis and I've got to analyse the sport, right? Which is what I'm going to do. I think I'm probably going to start by bringing up the team list on screen at some point. All right. With the power of editing and that. I just want to say, if you guys hearing some pesky pup in the background, that's the neighbour's pesky pup. The neighbour's pesky pup needs to keep it down, all right? Because we're doing State of Origin rugby. We're going to start off with Queensland because that's my team. Put it up on screen here, somewhere, please. All right. We got KP at fullback. All right. Kalen Ponga has made his way in the fullback position. Last year wasn't healthy enough to jump into that spot. He's here this year. I actually made a Queensland, New South Wales teams list, predicted teams list, little memes earlier in the year, or a couple months ago, weeks ago, if not. And I put them on my Instagram. So I'm going to put that up on screen somewhere. And, Kalen Ponga was my fallback. I couldn't see Reece Walsh doing it. I think Reece Walsh was already injured at the point of making that. I think the Hammer's a good fallback. I just don't think he's a State of Origin fallback. So I like Kalen Ponga to take on the number one spot, all right? Xavier Coates, he was a lock. He was one of the he was one of the obvious Queensland State of Origin locks as a winger, all right? And he just solidified it on Saturday night against the Sharks with a hat trick, all right? Robert Toya, which his picture's not here on screen, but he's been playing, pretty well. It surprised me. I think Robert Toya being picked in Origin was a serious shock to me and probably a lot of other Queensland fans, all right, other Queenslanders, because it was just sort of left field. Like there was there was a little bit of noise around Robert Toya, but I was pretty confident we were going to see the Hammer and Holmes in the centres, and then Xavier Coates and Cobbo on a wing, but we haven't, all right. So Robert Toya at centre, I think that's it's rugby league. It's simple. He's a good defensive centre. He showed that for the Roosters. He's young. And that's what I've often said I dislike about Origin. You kind of got to have the craftier players in there, a couple of the vets, but I like to see young, new, up-and-coming talent get a run, right, and pave their way as a Queensland player. Sort of, Lomax had that opportunity last year. I'm pretty sure Connor Watson had that opportunity last year. Mitch Barnett, get them in a jumper, see how they go in their debut game at Origin. If they play well, guess what? You'll have them back next year. So I feel like Robert Toya... I feel like Robert Toya is probably going to show up. I might be just blowing smoke up his tush right now, but I think Robert Toya could show up in this big game. I think he's obviously, on here he's matched up against Stephen Crichton, which is hard. Regardless of who was going to be playing against... It was either going to be Latrell or Crichton, so he's got. I think I'd probably rather Crichton over Latrell, but yeah, Robert Toya. That is one that I really like out of Queensland. All right, we've broken the pick and stick, and we've got a bit of fresh blood in. All right, a Queensland debutant. The Hammer takes on the number 4 spot. All right, the second centre. He unfortunately faces up against Strollman. I think, a bit of speed in the centres. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this. The Hammer did really well the game one of Origin last year, scoring a hat trick or something. I think he was moved to fullback after Reece Walsh got knocked out. But I mean, yeah, great to have him in the centre. He was a lock. All right, Valentine Holmes. I seen Valentine Holmes in the lineup. I didn't see him on a wing. All right. And I might go through at the end of the video. I might talk about players. Well, if we talk about my list, we'll talk about my list in depth at the end of the video. But yeah, I didn't have Valentine Holmes on a wing. Right, Murray Taulagi obviously got injured, but Cobbo's out there. I don't know. Valentine Holmes, I don't hate it though. I don't hate it. All right, I think we're going to need good defensive players out the back because we've got a lot to play against here in Zach Lomax, in Mitchell Moses, in Stephen Crichton and Brian Toto, all right, and Dylan Edwards. There's a lot out the back that, we need solid players out there who are reliable and defensive over anything else. So, yeah, I like that. Into the Queensland halves, Cameron Munster at 6, Daly Cherry Evans at 7. That's pretty basic stuff, guys. We see that nearly every year. If these two players are healthy and fresh and ready to go, we'll see them in them spots. So Cameron Munster had a bit of a hiatus last year out of injury. He's back now, playing at number 6. Daly Cherry Evans, if he plays well, he hasn't been playing the best in club. If he plays well here, he'll probably go on to play Origin again. But you got to start to think, like, if Daly Cherry Evans, at his age, where he's at with controversy in the club, if he plays bad at Origin, they might be looking to put, Tom Dearden in at 7. I don't know. I'm a Ches fan, but yeah, it's hard to not look past these two in 6 and 7. These were the most locked players for 6 and 7 for Queensland. Mo Fotuaika at number 8, which is surprising. I think we definitely had other players to take that spot. I feel like you could have ran, Paddy Carrigan at 8, Tino Fasilamala-Awi at 10, and then you could have sprinkled like a Corey Horsburgh in at 11 or 12. I don't know. There could have been a bit of a mix-up shift up. I think Mo Fotuaika at 8 is interesting. I want to see how that plays out. Just because he's starting doesn't mean, it's going to be his spot. No, Mo Fotuaika at 8. I'm cool with it. All right, he is a bit of a ball of muscle, and he's played a good year for the Titans. So, yeah, I don't hate Mo Fotuaika at 8. Harry Grant at 9. That's a lock. That's a Queensland lock through and through. Tino Fasilamala-Awi at 10. Understandable. I think it could have been anyone's spot for lock, Paddy Carrigan or Tino, but Tino's is dropping in the middle. I think Tino could probably work a lot longer. Work a lot harder in the middle compared to Paddy. I know Paddy's been playing there for the Broncos, but Paddy's real bread and butter has been a lock for the majority of his career. So I think Tino Fasilamala-Awi will play a good game. He'll play a good game in the middle. Ruben Cotter gets off ban just in time. He's playing the second row. Right, he's in the number 11s. Jeremiah Nanai, who, if you asked me at the start of 2025, would Jeremiah Nanai be starting at number 12? I would have said heck no. I wouldn't have even had him on a bench, but he's come into really good form. All right, he whipped himself into shape. All right, he's playing really good footy. He's a try-scoring second rower. All right, I like watching Jeremiah Nanai play. He's done good stuff for the Cowboys, and yeah, I think he's deserved a spot here at 12. And then Paddy Carrigan at lock. He's one of these guys that you just can't leave out his side. Onto the bench, Tom Dearden, number 14. All right, no surprise. I think I'm a diehard on this. I think if Max Plath is healthy, you look at putting Max Plath at 14 or in your interchange 15, 16, and 17. I like Max Plath. I'm a Max Plath fan. Right. Lindsay Collins at 15. He really earned that jersey. Coming out of that Roosters game against the Doggies, scoring a try. He had some good runs, good run meters. Lindsay Collins, State of Origin, bit of a legend at State of Origin. He's played there before, often. Beau Fermor, who I think you couldn't have left out of this side. He's been playing really good footy, scores tries. He's going to come well off the bench. Trent Laurie, number 17. All right. Once again, I'm pretty sure he didn't start anywhere near this last year, so it's good to see him I think he was like a 19th or 20th man last year, so it's good to see him actually in the interchange. I don't think a lot of people had him that high up. I think obviously a lot more people would have, tended to look for the Corey Horsburghs, the Kurt Catewells, Tom Gilberts, Yeah, I don't think anyone was sort of looking towards Trent Laurie. Kurt Mann at the 18th spot. Didn't see that one coming. Jesse Arthurs at 19. Didn't see that one coming. Kurt Mann, just first and foremost, Kurt Mann's been playing really good footy. Over at the Bulldogs, I believe. I think he's a Bulldog. Don't quote me on that. And then Finny Fuyaki, who I think is also a State of Origin debutant in there with Jesse Arthurs, these two, and Robert Toyer debuting for the state. So, I'm fairly certain Finny Fuyaki is a Dolphin as well. Don't quote me on that also. And I might be butchering that. But Jesse Arthurs, I don't know. I don't know about Jesse Arthurs being put in. It's a good bench for Queensland. It's better than last year. I think last year, was just a little bit too trick play orientated. You had Cobbo and you had Mam and you had Ben Hunt, like little bodies. This year, big bodies. Tom Dearden and Jesse Arthurs, the two smaller guys. But Jesse Arthurs can get out there and he can get after, right? He can make tackles. But yeah, good bench. It's a bit of a stock standard Queensland team. There's a couple new faces in there, but I think having Kalen Ponga's under question too because of how he's been performing this year. But I think KP can get out there. If you surround him with like these top tier Queensland players, you get him out of Newcastle, all right? You get him away from all them bums. You get him out there and you put, Daly Cherry Evans and Munster, the two of the best halves. You put them around him. You give him a good back row, good forward pack. He's going to be able to work at fullback. So I like Callum Ponga. All right, he was always my first pick. On to New South Wales, Dylan Edwards at number 1. All right, this was the big conundrum along with the halfback situation, but fullback. You had Dylan Edwards. You had Tedesco and you had Ryan Pappenhauser because Ryan Pappenhauser had earned himself a conversation. But Dylan Edwards, for me, he was my lock. Just because of how many Penrith players we knew were going to be on this side, it only made sense that he played fullback. All right. Teddy was obviously in the running for me. I know he didn't have the best State of Origin last year, but he's been playing really good footy. And he's a Origin fullback through and through. So, but Dylan Edwards, this is a good enough pick. I like Dylan Edwards at the back for New South Wales, all right? He plays good footy and he plays for the team. So, Brian Toto at number 2. This is a given. This is a lock player. Whenever the New South Wales teams are mentioned, Brian Toto comes to mind, all right? He'd play in a wheelchair if you'd let him. Stephen Crichton in your centres, right? Another just granted it's going to happen. Latrell Mitchell worked his ass off in the last 2 games since his game suspension or whatever, and it locked that spot in. All right. So I will admit the back row for New South Wales is terrifying. Like Zach Lomax at number 5, 2 tries on the weekend, huge winger. Outstanding game last year in Origin. All 3 games were outstanding for Lomax. And then you got Latrell, who's just terrifying, just scares the shit out of Queenslanders every other day of the week. Stephen Crichton, all right, arguably best defensive, best centre in the comp. Brian Toto, best winger in the comp. Dylan Edwards, he's up there in the debate for fullback. In his time, might be having a rough season right now, but... and then you got your halves. Mitchell Moses practically won the series for New South Wales last year at 6. Nathan Cleary, arguably the best player in the comp at number 7. Like, that's hard to play. That's hard to play against. Right? I might seem like I'm breezing over these, but you guys know them. You know them, all right? Oh, also, put the New South Wales thing up on the screen too. I'm sure I already did it, but... Mitchell Barnett, prop 8, right? Didn't see him being starting prop, just like Mo Fotuaika. I thought Mo Fotuaika would have been on the bench. as Mitchell Barnett. I thought Mitchell Barnett had a great Origin last year, great Origin series, and he's earned himself a starting spot at 8. So congratulations, Reece Robson. He was a lock. There was definitely, in my opinion, there was debate whether or not, Wade Egan made a bit of a statement for himself, So, but no, Reece Robson, he's in there. Payne Haas at 10. I probably should, Jerome Luai. It is a shock that Jerome Luai's left out of the squad, but also at the same time, it's like he's not playing shit footy. He's still playing great footy for the Tigers. But I think if Mitch Moses and Nathan Cleary are healthy, they're able to be in the halves, you put them there, all right? I do understand where a lot of people are coming from when they say, well, Jerome Luai, look at all the Penrith players. Jerome Luai would have just slotted in here like he was at home. Like, Penrith player, ex-Penrith player, Penrith player, Penrith player, Spencer Leniu, wherever he is, ex-Penrith player, Penrith players across the board. So he fits in, but, this is New South Wales, State of Origin. This is the Blues team, not Penrith Panthers. So, yeah, I like Mitchell Moses being in there at number 6. Reece Robson. Payne Haas makes his way in number 10. That was just a lock. Honestly, I sort of thought there was a lot of spew about him being injured, but obviously he's good to go. Liam Marto starts at 11. All right, here's Origin. Just don't put yourself in front of Liam Marto on Origin. All right, he's going to put you out. He's going to take your head off. Angus Crichton starting. This I like, but also at the same time, I think Angus Crichton. It was a battle. In my opinion, I sort of more seen Hudson Young either in Marto's position or Crichton's position. But, I think Huddy could have taken Crichton's position because he's not playing that well. But, I mean, he played well last year. It is what it is. If Crichton, if he has a bad game in Origin, they're probably going to beat him. Huddy, yeah. Anyway, Isaiah Yeo at 13. That was just obvious. And then for your bench, you got Connor Watson, all right, the utility man himself. He's earned himself a number 14 for New South Wales for years to come. Spencer Leniu, if there's a New South Wales side listed, Spencer Leniu's in it, right? He comes off the back fence and will knock the ball on a few times. Hudson Young, as I said, probably should have been starting, but it is what it is. Huddy Young, I think he'll show up on the New South Wales Blues lights. Max King, who I really wish I put on my mock-up team list for New South Wales, but I didn't. I did a little bit of thinking about it after that, and I've made little list by myself since then, and Max King has been in it. But yeah, what are you to do? What are you to do, guys? All right, Max King, he made it this year, which I think he totally deserves. He's been doing really well at the Doggies, so yeah. And then this is where things get a little bit crazy. All right, Campbell Graham put on that good, in my opinion, he put on that good of a performance against the Tigers there last night that he earned himself an 18th spot. Mightn't see any ball time, but hell, he might. All right. Yeah, dude. Sick game against the Tigers. He was in every tackle, and if he gets a bit of ball time in State of Origin, I think he'll be one of the bigger names in there. I didn't see Stefano getting picked. Obviously, he's in the reserves, and then I definitely didn't see Hamole Olakuato getting picked. Okay, he's had a really bad season. He had 1 or 2 good games, and I didn't see him getting picked, but he got picked. So yeah. That's our lists. That is the official team lists. Here they're both up on screen. We just read through them all, but here they are up on screen. I do find it funny that none of the New South Wales players are in New South Wales kit. It's funny. It looks like a fantasy team, but no. This is the actual list, and then this is my list. So yeah, okay. Xavier Savage, was probably a bit of a bomb pick. I probably, I don't know necessarily what I was thinking there. But, I mean, he had a good game on the weekend. I think he scored nearly a hat-trick, or at least 2 tries. So, at the time, there was a bit of an argument there for Xavier Savage at the back. And then I had Callum Ponga and Xavier Coates, who have been named. I had Hammer, and I had Valentine Holmes in my centres. you know, I honestly didn't even have Robert Toya as a inkling in my mind. Kemi Munster and Daly Cherry Evans, as I said, they're a lock. They were in there. I had Corey Horsburgh, Tino Fasilimula-Awi, and Patrick Carrigan playing in the middle. All right, I had Tino at lock, and I had Paddy Carrigan and Corey Horsburgh playing in the middle, and then I had Harrigan at hooker. I had David Fafita at the time, all right? This was before David Fafita got the sack. All right, I thought maybe David Fafita would have a run at Origin this year. And then I had Ruben Cotter in the second row, obviously. So, yeah, there's obviously a few changes I would have liked to have made to that, but it is what it is. All right, I made that earlier in the year. And then New South Wales, Lomax, Toto, Dylan Edwards. I aced that, right? Trell, Crichton, aced that. Mitchell Moses, Nathan Cleary, aced that. This is where I sort of bummed it up. I did have Payne Haas in the middle. I did have Isaiah Yeo at lock, but I honestly thought Terrell May would get picked, right? He's been playing really good footy. Obviously, Laurie Daly didn't say the same thing. I had Angus Crichton in my second row. I had Hudson Young in my second row. I didn't have Marto up in there, and I had Reece Robson at hooker. And then, I actually did have a few of these names for Queensland and a few of these names for New South Wales in the bench. Marto, Lanu, Nanai, all of that. So, how good's rugby league? How good's State of Origin, guys? If you're as pumped for State of Origin as I am, all right, it's right around it's right around the corner. It's right around the corner. It's next Wednesday. So, I really wanted to do a State of Origin live stream for you guys. I wanted to, I thought that'd be a great laugh, but unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get to 50 subs, guys. We're not going to be able to do a live stream. I might have to do a pre-recorded podcast, pre-recorded live stream or something. But I doubt we're going to be able to do. I doubt we're going to be able to do a live stream. So unfortunately, but maybe game 2 or game 3, give us a little bit more time. A game 3 live stream is probably where it's at. That'll probably bring in the views. So yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. This has been a little video on State of Origin teams list, guys. I thought it happened today and yesterday. I thought I may as well jump on and replace Fight IQ. I might still make a Fight IQ later in the week, but I think State of Origin is a little bit more important than Mackenzie Dern, Aaron Blanchfield. I don't even know who's fine. Aaron Blanchfield and someone else. All right. I thought this was a little bit more important. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe. Check out my socials, Instagram, TikTok. We're all over the place. And I don't think I have anything else to say. Up the Queensland Maroons, mate. Yeah.